Welcome back. All right, so 5 weeks from tonight, the National Hockey League season will be complete. We had a busy night tonight of 12 games. I did my best, 11 games on at the same time and everything. So I just write up my notes. I finish writing my notes. I make the video for you guys, and then I find out about stuff that, there's stuff that I miss here and there, but it happens. People understand. All right, first up, we're going to talk about the Islanders in Buffalo. Wow. So, there's hope. You'll notice I put headlines at the bottom because I figured why not? Why not? So the hope in Buffalo that they make the playoffs is growing, and honestly, I kind of hope they do. I still think the odds are against them overall, but you know what? It's fun to see them in the running this late in the season. So it's Sorokin versus Luukkonen. Shots are 5-0 Buffalo, 5.5 minutes in. Yeah, they were all over the Islanders. The Islanders press at 6.5 minutes. They don't get a shot out of that. Sabres are controlling, but they need a goal. We then get a power play for the Islanders. There's a net feed to Pajot. Near miss there. Power play's killed off. Greenway has a rush chance that saved. The Sabres press with a minute and a half left. But it's 0-0 after one, in spite of the fact that, Buffalo controlled a lot of that period. Second period. Early rushes both directions. Sabres press at a minute and a half. The shots are 3-1 Buffalo at 3 minutes. We then get a power play for the Sabres, and they score on it. It is Olofsson from Peterka and Power at 4:28. The Sabres press at 6.5 minutes. At 8:15, they get their second goal of the game. It is Cousins from Clifton and Skinner. He buries that one from the slot. And then on a screenshot from the point, Benson, I believe, had the tip in front. Yoki Haru and Power with the assist at 9:41. So with 3 goals in a little over 5 minutes of game time, the Sabres have opened a 3-goal lead. It's challenged. They did challenge it, but they consider it to be a good goal. Patrick Waugh did not agree with that, so the Sabres get the power play out of that. That's killed off. Things get pushy-punchy on a hold by UPL. The Islanders then draw a power play. That's killed off. It's 3-0 Buffalo after 2 periods of play. Third period, early press by Buffalo. We get a power play for the Sabres. That's killed off. Romanov's then denied out of the box. Shots are 4 apiece 6 minutes in. We then get a power play for the Islanders. We get 22 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. The Islanders then get another power play. Sabres kill that off as well. Early goalie pull means an early empty netter. It's Benson into the empty net from Dahlin and Byram at 15:06. Buffalo wins 4-0 against the Islanders. They're 32-30-5 on the season. The Islanders 29-22-14, and they missed a chance to go ahead of Detroit with this one. 3 stars, Luukkonen, Cousins, and Benson. Shots on net 13-5 Buffalo in the first, 16-6 Buffalo in the second, 10-8 Islanders in the third. Final shots 37-21 for Buffalo. Power plays, the Islanders 0 for 4, Buffalo 1 for 4. The hits 50-21 for the Islanders. Sorokin saves 33 out of 36. Luukkonen saves all 21 shots, and as I put at the bottom of the board, hope grows in Buffalo. Or fine, it says hopes grow in Buffalo. It's fine. All right, next up, Florida and Carolina. Carolina knows how to shut out these Florida Panthers. They make it look relatively easy. At any rate, it's Bobrovsky versus Anderson. Panthers had the only shot on net 3 minutes in. Florida then has a power play. Verhaeghe's robbed 4 seconds in, but that's about as close as Florida gets. That's killed off. Shots are 5-1 Florida, 6.5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Canes. That's killed off. 1 shot on net. Things get pushed in a hole by Bobrovsky after that's done. Gensel has a net drive, that's saved. Canes go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. There's a press by Carolina with 2.5 minutes left. Eventually, after Stahl has a chance that's blocked, Jarvis hits the net. Stahl and Slavin with the assist at 19:11. It was a nice stretch pass by Slavin to set that up. Canes look for another, but it's 1-0 Carolina after 1. Second period, 2 minutes and 48 seconds in. Natchez doubles the lead. He scores from Orlov and Gensel. That's Gensel's first point as a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. Canes press at 4 minutes. In fact, the shots are 7-0 or 6-0 for the Canes at 7 minutes. And then at 8:27, Kuznetsov wires one from the left circle. Chatfield with the assist. I believe that's Kuznetsov's first goal as a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. Panthers being blocked out from the net well. We get a power play for Carolina. That's killed off. There's a nice skate blade save on Barkov. Freddie Anderson pretty good in this one tonight. 1:13 left. The Panthers get a power play. So it's 3-0 Carolina after 2. To start the third, the Canes finish the kill. Panthers go back to the power play. That's killed off. Physicality's picking up a bit in the third. Teams not liking each other very much. We get a power play for Carolina. That's killed off. Canes press with 9 minutes left. The Panthers press with 6 minutes left. Eventually, they pulled the goalie early, and at 15:42, it's another empty netter. Svechnikov from Slavin. Canes then get a power play with 2:11 left. That's killed off, but it helps to ensure a shutout in this one. So that's 2 Tony the Tiger Magnets in the first 2 games. Carolina 40, 20, and 6 with the win. Florida drops to 45, 18, and 4 with the loss. 3 stars in this one: Kuznetsov, Anderson, and Slavin. Shots on net, 12-10 Carolina in the first, 11-7 Carolina in the second, 12-4 Carolina in the third. That's how you shut down a game. Shots are 35-21 for Carolina overall. Power plays, Florida 0 for 3, Carolina 0 for 5. The hits 37-23 Florida. Bobrovsky saved 31 out of 34. Freddie Anderson, 21 saves on 21 shots. That's 2 straight shutouts for Carolina against the Florida Panthers. All right, next up. Ottawa and the Columbus Blue Jackets, Forsberg versus Merzlikins. So this was the first casualty of the night, the game that I just couldn't keep tracking because there was too much going on. But I did track it early. Jenner wires one from the slot, Goudreau and Boquist with the assist 15 seconds in. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a goalie duel, but it was going to become one. Shots are 3 apiece at 6 minutes. We get a power play for the Sens. There's a shorthanded rush chance by Texier that's blocked. The power play's killed off. 1 shot on net. Sens press with 9 minutes left. Olivier has a rush chance that's held. Tkachuk has a net feed that's saved. The rebound's held there. Shots are 11-5 for Ottawa with 4.5 minutes left. Kubalik's denied on a face-off win with 2:01 left. Columbus gets a power play. That's killed off. It's 1-0 Columbus after 1. Second period, the Sens really in control early on in this. They're leading in shots 5-1, 6.5 minutes in. We get a power play for Columbus. That becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. Shots are 10-6 Ottawa with 6 minutes left. So this was a goalie duel. It's still 1-0 after 2. Third period, we get a power play for Columbus, and they score on it. It's Alex Nylander at 5:21 from Goudreau and Werenski. The shots were 15-0. Columbus, 6.5 minutes in. Yep. And then, comeback. On their second shot, Ottawa scores Giroux from Tkachuk and Kastelik at 7:25. That's Tkachuk's first point as a member of Ottawa. And then at 12:27, Stützle scores from Bernard Docker and Brandstrom. It's a 2-2 tie. We're going overtime. I did pick it up in overtime. Columbus controls early. They actually get a change in. They have some, at least an opportunity. They don't take a shot at the net, though. I didn't understand why they didn't take a shot at the net. Anyways, the Sens take over. They set up. They turn it over, but they get it right back. Sens draw a power play. They cycle. Tkachuk tips one wide. In the end, we go to a shootout. Claude Giroux gets the shootout winner on a slap shot. People didn't expect that. So that's the second time that a Senator has gotten a goal via a slap shot. People didn't expect him to take a slap shot on. So the Ottawa Senators win this one 3-2 in a shootout. They go to 27, 33, and 4 with the loss. Columbus, nice synergy here. 22, 33, and 11. Double numbers. 3 stars in this one. Forsberg, Merzlikins, and Giroux. Shots on net 13-9 Ottawa in the first and 13-9 Ottawa in the second. 19-6 Columbus in the third. Ottawa had all 5 shots of the overtime. The shots are even, 37 apiece. Power plays, Ottawa 0 for 3, Columbus 1 for 3. The hits 13-12 for Columbus. Forsberg and Merzlikins both saved 35 out of 37. With the win, Ottawa avoids dropping into the basement. If they lost this game, they would have been tied in points with Columbus if they'd lost in regulation anyways. So they're now 3 points ahead of Columbus in that race for last. All right. Next up, the last one on this board is Arizona and Detroit. And it's not often that I see Detroit fans booing the team off the ice this year, but here we are. Ingram versus Lyon in this one. The Wings had the only shot on net 3 minutes in. We get a power play for Detroit, and that leads to a shorthanded goal for Arizona. It's Logan Cooley from Gunther at 5:10, and then the Coyotes finish the kill. The Coyotes then get a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 3-1 for the Wings at 7.5 minutes, which reveals that, that was the first shot Arizona had. It got in. Coyotes press at the half. There's more pressure by them with 6.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Detroit. That's killed off. Then with 3:02 left, the Wings get a power play, and they score on it. At 18 minutes, it's Raymond, a nice tic-tac-toe goal. Kane and Gostisbehere with the assists. So, ties the game at 1, gets the team into it, and we go to the second period with the score tied. Power play for Detroit, that's killed off. Shots are 2-1 for the Wings, 4.5 minutes in. And then a puck deflects into the net. Carcone gets his 19th of the season. Kerfoot and Michelli with the assists at 8:36. Arizona has the lead back at 2-1. Coyotes press with 5.5 minutes left. Arizona gets zone time, not getting shots there. Things get punchy with 2:08 left. The Coyotes come out with the power play on that. That's killed off by Detroit. It's 2-1 Arizona going into the third. Now, you would think Detroit would know what's going on in Buffalo, that they have a chance to pull 2 points ahead of the Islanders. It didn't really show, though, in the third period if they did. So, teams exchange rushes. The Wings press at 6 minutes. Canes denied and close. The shots were 5-2 for the Wings 8 minutes in. Bergeron has a chance that's held, and then at 10:02, Bjugstad scores. He gets a goal from Schmaltz and Keller. The Wings look to respond, but the Coyotes at this point now, up by 2, they're defending really well on zone entries. They're not giving much in their zone, if they're even giving them the zone at all. Shots are 6-4 for the Wings with 7 minutes left, so that's only one more shot for the Wings over that time period of about 5 minutes of game time. Coyotes press with 4 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 3.5 minutes left, which allows Keller to hit the empty net from Bjugstad and Dermott at 16:56. And yeah, the Boo Birds were out to close this game. Not very happy in Detroit. Arizona wins 4-1. They win both meetings and by a combined score of 8-1. They go to 27-35-5 with the win. Detroit 33-27-6 with the loss. 3 stars Bjugstad, Keller, and Carcone. Shots on net, 10-7 Detroit in the first, 10-9 Detroit in the second, 11-9 Arizona in the third. Final shots, 29-27 Detroit. Power plays, 0-2 for Arizona, 1-4 for Detroit. Hits, 17-16 for Detroit. Ingram, 28 saves on 29 shots. Lions save 23 out of 26 at the other end. So it continues to go in the wrong direction for Detroit. Now I need to change boards. All right, Boston and Montreal, one of those old-fashioned rivalries, and Boston, a little bit of a scare tonight, but they came out pretty well. I thought Montreal played a pretty good game. It was Ullmark versus Montembeault. 4:49 in, Boston opens the scoring. It's Heinen from Pasternak and Zacha. The Habs press at 6 minutes. We get a power play for Boston. DeBrusk can't bury one in close. That's killed off. Shots are 6-1 Boston, 9.5 minutes in. Bruins press with 7 minutes left, but eventually Suzuki buries one from the side of the net. Nice pass from Slafkovsky to set him up at 14:37, makes it 1-1. That was our score after the first. Second period, the Habs press are kept to the outside. Pasternak has a one-timer, that's held. We get a power play for Boston. That's killed off. The Bruins press at 5.5 minutes. The Habs then press 8 minutes in. The Bruins get some pressure at 9.5, or with 9.5 left. So just teams taking those zone times, and just it was pretty good back and forth game. The shots on net are only 5-3 for Boston with 6 minutes left. So both teams keeping the other team to the outside, blocking the net well, interceptions and all that. Pasternak then with a near miss on a breakaway. We get a power play for the Habs. That's killed off. The Habs go back to the power play with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. So that rolls over into the third period. We're still tied at 1. Bruins finish the kill. They clear it out after. Boston presses. The Habs block. More pressure by the Bruins, not getting shots. Coyle to Marchand, that gets blocked. Slafkovsky has a rush that's defended. Bruins press at 5 minutes. The fans call one. Referee does not. Marchand with a near miss. The Habs rush. The Habs get a power play. That becomes 1 minute and 4-on-4. And then it's a 2 minute and 59 second power play for Boston because it's a double minor. Frederick has a net drive that's blocked, and Montreal kills that off. That was a really solid kill by Montreal. Beecher's denied, and then there's some punching, but we're going overtime. The Habs controlled early, then they turn it over, and on a 3-on-1 rush, DeBrusk scores from Marchand and Lindholm at 25 seconds. Boston comes out with the victory, 2-1 in overtime. Boston 39-14-5, and I'm glad to see them win one in overtime. That's a rarity. On the other side, Montreal 25-30-11 with the overtime loss. Your 3 stars are DeBrusk, Armia, and McAvoy. Shots on net, 9-7 Boston in the first, 6-5 Montreal in the second, 9-6 Boston in the third. Boston had the only shot of the overtime. That's all they needed. Final shots, 24-19 Boston. Power plays, Boston 0-4, Montreal 0-3. The hits, 18-16 for Boston. Ullmark, good thing they didn't trade him. 18 saves on 19 shots. Montembeault, 22 saves on 24 shots. I say that because since the trade deadline, I think Ullmark's been the better of the 2 goalies. So Boston wins 3 out of the 4 games against Montreal this season, and they pulled themselves a little bit closer to Florida atop the division. All right, next up, San Jose and Pittsburgh. Man, this one looked like San Jose might pull it off, and then they just didn't. So it's Corona versus Jari. The Sharks led in shots 3-0, 3.5 minutes in. Get a power play for San Jose. That was killed off. The Penguins still didn't have a shot 6.5 minutes in. Sharks press at 7 minutes. We get a power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. And then Achari scores from Carlson at 10:28, so it becomes 1-0. Drew O'Connor's then denied on a rush. Rust buries a loose puck, but it's waved off as the whistle had gone, but Corona didn't have that puck. So anyways, San Jose then ties it at 14:31. It's Zetterlund from Addison and Thrun. We get a power play for Pittsburgh, but their power play isn't very good, so that's killed off. And then Vlasic scores. He gets a goal from Costin and Granlund at 19:01. Penguins would press to respond, but it's 2-1 Sharks after the first. Second period, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Penguins with some pressure during the 4-on-4. At 4 minutes and 11 seconds, Jeff Carter scores from Bemstrom. And this is where I stopped tracking goals tonight. At one point, I had goal magnets on the board with no goals next to them. I just put the magnet on the board and keep writing notes. It's a little hectic on nights like this, but at one point I was 38 goals behind. I counted the goal magnets. It's like, wow, I got 38 goals to fill in. So it started with the Carter one because the NHL app wasn't telling me who got what, and I was like, fine, I'll just forget it. Sharks, and then when we were down to 2 games left in the night, then I go through and fill them all in. Anyways, Sharks press at 5 minutes. The Penguins pressed at 7 minutes. Vlasic has a shot that deflects wide. It's cleared out, and then Malkin buries a rebound on a rush. O'Connor and Eller with the assists at 11:34. Penguins press for another. The Sharks get some pressure with 4.5 minutes left. The Sharks score, but it's with a high stick, so that doesn't count. So they get it back anyways. Costin buries one from the slot. His first as a San Jose Shark. Granlund and Vlasic with the assists at 18:42. It's one of those rare nights where Vlasic gets multiple points. But yeah, after the second period, it's a 3-3 tie. Third period, the shots are 4-0 Sharks 2.5 minutes in. But then on their first shot, Ludwig scores for Pittsburgh. Joseph and Smith with the assists at 2:38. Penguins press for another, and they get it. At 4:38, it's Raquel from Joseph and Ludwig. So Ludwig with a goal and an assist tonight. I didn't see if he had a fight. That would have been the Gordie Howe hat trick. At any rate, we get a power play for San Jose. That's killed off. Eventually, San Jose pulls the goalie down by 2, which leads to Rust hitting the empty net. Letang and Crosby with the assists at 18:04. And your final score in this one, 6-3 for Pittsburgh. They go to 29, 27, and 9 on the season with the loss. San Jose 16, 42, and 7. 3 stars are Ludwig, O'Connor, and Joseph. Shots 10-9 Pittsburgh in the first, 17-10 Pittsburgh in the second, 13-4 San Jose in the third. Final shots 32-31 San Jose. Both teams go 0 for 2 on the power play. The hits 25-20 San Jose. Corona saves 25 out of 30. Jari saves 29 out of 32. And Pittsburgh, in 2 games against San Jose, 16 goals. They like playing against San Jose. They'd like more San Jose on their schedule, please. All right, next up, the Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So Tampa Bay had lost both meetings with the Rangers this season, and it looked like they were going to lose the third. So it's Shesterkin versus Vasilevsky. Shots are 2 apiece at 2 minutes. Pretty wide open compared to a lot of the other games tonight. Rangers press at 4 minutes. Bolts get stuck on 2 shots for a while. We get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. Pretty strong back checking by the Rangers. New York presses with 8 minutes left. Eventually, on a 2-on-1 rush, Panarin buries one from a sharp angle. Lafreniere and Trocheck with the assists at 13:58. Then Schneider makes it 2-0. He scores from Zibanejad and Roslovic at 16:56. Tampa Bay presses with 2.5 minutes left, trying to answer, but it's 2-0 Rangers after 1. Second period, early press by the Rangers, and the first few minutes, it's all New York. Dumba then has a net feed. There's a near miss. The Bolts press at 6 minutes. We get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. And then at 12:41, Point scores from Kucherov. Point was in for a big night. We get a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. The Bolts press with a minute and a half left. And at 18:43, Duclair buries a rebound to tie it from Point and Kucherov. So Point and Kucherov with 2 points each. And we're going to the third tied at 2. Early press by Tampa, but at 1:48, Roslovic wires one sharp side, far corner, or short side, top corner. Fox and Kreider with the assists. The Rangers have the lead back at 3-2. Then there's too many Rangers on the ice, or was there? They decided, nah, it's fine. And John Cooper wasn't happy because they call it, but they didn't. And so there you go. So we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and at 3:41, I believe this is a 4-on-4 goal. Point scores from Hedman and Kucherov. The Rangers press at 8 minutes. We get more pressure by them at the half because it's tied at 3 and they want those 2 points. Bolts press with 8.5 minutes left. They end up getting a power play, and at 12:45, Stamkos scores from Point and Cirelli. So there you go. Tampa Bay with the lead. Great blind pass by Point, too, to set that up. Rangers look to respond, but at 14:48, Point scores again. He gets the hat trick goal from Kucherov and Hedman, and an empty netter then gets hit by Kucherov from Point and Paul. So for Braden Point, six points on the night. Final score after that goal at 16:22 is 6-3. It matches that one there. 35-25-6 is the record for Tampa, and combined with other losses tonight, they'll be breathing a little easier. The Rangers 43-19-4 with the loss. Three stars tonight are Point, Kucherov, and Duclair. Point with a 6-game night. A 6-point night, sorry. Shots on net, 11-5 Rangers in the first, 10-6 Tampa in the second, 13-11 Tampa in the third. Both teams at 28 shots. Power plays, the Rangers 0-2, Tampa Bay 1-2. The hits, 30-26 for Tampa Bay. Shesterkin, ugly stat line for him, 22 saves on 27 shots. Vasilevsky, 25 saves on 28 shots. And Tampa Bay avoids the season sweep at the hands of the New York Rangers, who I guess theoretically they could meet in the playoffs. All right, next up, Toronto and Philadelphia. So Toronto, pretty good team, not too shabby. Just Boston has their number, but against everybody else, they're pretty darn good. They've now won 11 out of 12 against anybody who's not Boston. So Samsonov versus Ersson in this one. The Leafs press at a minute and a half, and at 2:01, Bertuzzi pays him off with a tip-in. Matthews and Nylander with the assist. The shots are 3-1, Toronto at 4 minutes. You could tell pretty early on this was going to be Toronto's night. Leafs press at 5 minutes. Hathaway's then denied. The rebound's cleared. The Leafs press at 7 minutes. The Flyers are blocking at this point in the game. More pressure by the Leafs at 9.5 minutes. We get some pushing. And then on a face-off win, Holmberg buries one. Dewar and Riley with the assists at 9:57. For Dewar, that's his first point as a Leaf, I do believe. Adder then nearly buries one as the Flyers press. The Leafs score, but it's a hand pass. It's challenged for a hand pass. That goal comes off the board. Yes, it could have been worse. Power play for Philadelphia. Does it suck? Well, yeah, it's Philadelphia's power play. And then at 15:39, Liljegren makes it 3-0 from Bertuzzi and Samsonov with his first assist of the season. The Flyers press with 2 minutes left, but they're in trouble. They're down 3-0 against Toronto after one. Second period, Guryanov has a rush chance. That's defended. We get an early power play for Philly, or early press by Philly, which leads to a power play. Does it suck? No. They buried early in it. Tippett scores from Frost and Konechny at 1:42. What I've noticed with the Flyers power play, either they get a goal really early in it, or they just don't. And more often than not, they just don't. It is the 32nd ranked power play in the NHL. At any rate, delay a game gives the Leafs a power play. Sandstrom holds. Hathaway was minus a blade during that. Most bizarre thing I'd seen to that point in the game. Post for the Leafs, but the Flyers do kill off that power play. Shots are 3-1, Toronto 5.5 minutes in. Yarncroke was down after a hit he took along the boards. York then has a shot deflect wide as the Flyers press. Things get pushed and hold by Samsonov. The Flyers a little bit frustrated with tonight's game. We get a power play for the Flyers. That becomes 44 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. It's 3-1 as we go to the third. Domi hits a crossbar early on. The Flyers press at 3 minutes. Hathaway has a wraparound chance that's saved, and then the Leafs go the other way. And Matthews buries it on a rush. He gets 55 goals in a season. Multiple 55-goal seasons. I believe he's the first Leaf to do that. Holmberg and Lyubushkin with the assists at 4:45. So makes it 4-1. And then at 4:53, 8 seconds later, and on a rush, Nylander scores from Domi and Kampf. We then get a power play for Toronto. That's not successful, but not long after, Nye scores from McCabe and Liljegren at 9 minutes. And there were so many Flyer sticks on the ice. So many Flyer sticks. Like there were, I think 3 sticks broke during that play. So that puck goes in. Like it's not counted as a power play goal. I'm pretty sure it was after the power play was done. When you've got that many Flyers who were without a stick because they broke. So did the Leafs saw their sticks almost it was weird. I've never seen that many sticks on the ice. So first we have a skate blade thrown on a play, and then it's not thrown, like he loses a skate blade, and in this case just sticks everywhere. So 2:49 left. The Leafs get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded goal by Philly. Forrester scores from Sanheim and Couturier at 18:28. That avoids the no mercy magnet for them. It was a one-timer from the slot, and then the Flyers finish the kill. As bad as their power play is, their penalty kill's been pretty good. So your final score is 6-2. Toronto goes to 38-19-8 on the season. Philadelphia 34-25-8, so tough loss for them, but some of the teams that are chasing them lost as well. Three stars are Bertuzzi, Nylander, and Matthews. The shots on net, 12 apiece in the first, 9-7 Philly in the second, 8-7 Toronto in the third. Final shots, 28-27 for the Flyers. Power plays, Toronto 0 for 4, Philadelphia 1 for 3. So the power play didn't hurt him tonight. Hits 34-27 for Philadelphia. Samsonov saves 26 out of 28. Ersson, rough night, 9 saves on 12 shots. Sandstrom, rough night too, 12 saves on 15 shots. Means it's probably more on the defense than on the goaltending. But at any rate, I need to change boards. All right, so Dallas, home against New Jersey. If anybody's wondering, no, that didn't make me mad. Because you really didn't. Allen versus Ottinger. I just wanted to specify after last night. Yeah, the Canucks made me mad. This didn't. On Dallas's first shot, they score. It's Wyatt Johnston from Ben and Harley at 15 seconds. Stars press for another, but then they turn it over, and Ottinger just can't catch it. Howlett tips one over him at 5:41, so you chip the puck over the goalie, and on your first shot, you've scored as well. So both teams scored on their first shot tonight. And, of course, New Jersey's not allowed to score first. That's just not something they do. It's kind of rude. So Mercer's robbed on a 2-on-1 rush. Shots are 2 apiece at 9 minutes. We get a power play for Dallas. Post for Ben early. And after the power play's done at 12:04, Smith puts one in off Allen's skates. And it's the second shot on net for Dallas. Hakanpää and Delandry with the assist. Or no, that's the third shot on net for Dallas. So goalies had a rough start. Near miss for Ben as the Stars press. The Devils press with 3.5 minutes left. And eventually they score. At 17:14 is Tierney from McDermott and DeSimone. So I believe for McDermott, that's his first point as a Devil. Is it DeSimone's? It might be. So it's 2-2 after one. Second period early jump for the Devils, and the Stars are turning it over, and that leads to Mercer wiring one top shelf. Heischer and Luke Hughes with the assists at 1:31. And then Timo Meier puts one on the board from Bratton Nemitz at 3:52. That's 4 goals in less than 24 minutes. So Ottinger's done. Wedgwood is in the net. He's welcome to the game at 5:12 with a goal that goes in off of him. Nosek, his first goal of the season. Lazar with the assist, I should say. Devils press at 8.5 minutes. We get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off with 37 seconds left. Dallas goes to the power play again. So they're down 5-2 after 2, and they have a power play that rolls over into the third where the Devils finish the kill. Allen, honestly, became really, really good after that shaky-looking start. Shots are 4-0 Dallas at 4.5 minutes. Pavelski's denied. Allen holds. Lazar has a rebound that's caught and held. Stars press with 7 minutes left, but on a turnover. Again, 14:25. Holtz scores from Tierney and Meier. Holtz has not scored in a while, so there's a goal there. Fox then has a rush chance that's saved, and yeah, 6-2 is your final in favor of the New Jersey Devils. So that's 4 games I've talked about in a row that had 6 goals in them by the winning team. Those are the only ones with 6 goals in them by the winning team. So New Jersey goes to 32-30-4, and with all the other results tonight, it does improve their playoff odds. Dallas 40-19-9 on the season. So 3 stars are Allen, Tierney, and Meier. Shots on net favored Dallas the whole way. 7-6 in the first, 16-8 in the second, 14-6 in the third. Final shots are 37-20 for the Stars. Power plays, New Jersey didn't have any. Dallas had 3, didn't score on any of them. Hits 28-21 Dallas. Allen 35 saves on 37 shots. Otter 6 saves on 10 shots for Ottinger. Wedgwood saved 8 out of 10. And this is revenge by New Jersey for the 6-2 win the Stars had in New Jersey. So Devils are better on the road than at home. And it definitely showed tonight. So huge result for New Jersey. Now they just have to build on it. All right, next up. Anaheim and Minnesota. Dostal versus Fleury. Shaw has a tipped shot that's saved. Easy for me to say. Shots are 3-2 for the Wild at 5 minutes. Don't get excited about 2 shots every 5 minutes if you're a Ducks fan, because, yeah, they didn't keep that pace up. The Wild press at 8 minutes. There's a near miss for Boldy on a rush. Wild press with 7 minutes left, and at 14:44, good pressure leads to this goal. Bogosian from Rossi and Brodin. We then get a power play for the Wild. Faber has a blast that's held. That power play is killed off. With 1:03 left, the Ducks go to the power play. So it's 1-0 Minnesota after the first, and to start the second, the Wild finish the kill, and then at 2:17 they make it 2-0. Kaprizov from Hartman and Boldy. And really, Minnesota just dominates this period. Shots are 3-1 for the Wild at 7 minutes. Anaheim only had 1 shot the rest of the period. The Wild press with 6 minutes left. And really, Dostal's the reason this is close. He had saved 23 out of 25. after 2 periods. I'm not sure why he's not one of the 3 stars. I thought he should have been. Anyways, 3rd period. The Ducks score, but it's offside. So no goal for the Ducks there. Zuccarello's then denied on a net drive. The Wild press at 4 minutes. The shots are only 2 apiece, 6 minutes in. Minchukov has a shot that's held. The Ducks press at 9 minutes. Johnston has a near miss on a net drive. Ducks press with 6 minutes left. Foligno scores, but he kicked it in, so that doesn't count. That's 2 goals taken off the board in the 3rd. And they said the whistle was being blown, so no goal. But I think they would have taken it off anyways because Foligno kicked it in. Either way, it's not a goal. Goalie pull happens with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left. Anaheim just couldn't get to the net. So Fleury gets his 4th career shutout against the Anaheim Ducks. The Minnesota Wild win 2-0. With this win and other results, they get closer to the playoff line. They're 33-27-7 on the season. 3rd Tony the Tiger Magnet was deployed for this one. With the loss, the Ducks dropped to 23-40-3. Your 3 stars are Kaprizov, Brodin, and Fleury. Again, I probably would have gone with Kaprizov, Fleury, and Dostal personally. Shots on net, 10-7 Minnesota in the first, 15-2 Minnesota in the second, and 7-6 Anaheim in the third. Final shots, 31-16 Minnesota. Power plays, the Ducks 0 for 1, Minnesota 0 for 2. The hits, 15-12 for Anaheim. Dostal, 29 saves on 31 shots. Fleury saved all 16 shots. These teams meet again March the 19th. So could directly tie to the hopes for the Minnesota Wild. Go in and win that next one too. You never know. All right, Vegas and Calgary. Calgary likes playing against Vegas this year, I think. And Noah Hannafin switching allegiances didn't seem to have a huge difference. Make a huge difference is what I was looking for there. Just couldn't find it. All right, so it's Hill versus Wolf. The shots are 4-0 Calgary, 3.5 minutes in. We get a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. Vegas presses at 8 minutes. There's too many Flames on the ice, so Vegas gets a power play. That's killed off. Calgary has a rush chance that's held. Coronado has a shot that deflects out. Flames press with 5 minutes left. Hunt can't bury one in close. And honestly, Aiden Hill's the reason this is scoreless after the first. 2nd period. Barbashev is denied early. There's a press by Vegas at 2 minutes. Amadio has a chance that's held. The shots are 3 apiece, 5 minutes in. Howden has a turnover, one-timer, that's held. The Flames have a 2-on-1, that misfires. Kolasar has a shot that's held. There's some pushing after that. We get a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. A press by Vegas after it ends doesn't net a result. Flames press with 5.5 minutes left. Sharon Govich nearly opens the scoring. Carlson's denied on a turnover, and then on the next turnover, they score. It's Mantha from Theodore at 17:56. The Flames press in the final minute, but it's 1-0 Vegas after 2. 3rd period, Mangiapane has a rush chance that's held. We get a power play for Calgary. Huberdeau has a shot that's held. Power play's killed off. 1 shot on net during Calgary's power play. But Sharon Govich buries his own rebound at the net. He was a change-up, fooled Hill, and Hunt and Shillington with the assists at 4 minutes. Flames then press for the lead. The shots are 7-2 for Calgary at 7 minutes. Barbashev's denied. Then the Flames rush the other way, and Coleman scores from Kadri at 10:06. So now the Flames have the lead. There's a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. 3 shots on net as Dustin Wolf, best game he's played in the National Hockey League tonight. I don't know that it's close. Coronado then goes top shelf on a rush to make it 3-1. Hunt with another assist there. Sharon Govich with one as well at 14:45. Flames press with 4 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 3:15 left. And Blake Coleman hits the empty net from Backlund and Mangiapane at 17:02. 4 third-period goals give the Calgary Flames a 4-1 win. They go to 32, 29, and 5. Obviously, they had to beat Vegas in regulation to pull themselves a little bit closer. Vegas 35, 24, and 7 with the loss. 3 stars, Wolf, Hunt, and Coleman. Or Wolf Hunt and Coleman. Wolf Hunt. Huh. You know, there's an 80s rock band in there somewhere. Anyways, shots on net are, I would think, hair metal with all the fur. All right, shots on net, I'm all sidetracked. 13-6 Calgary in the first, 12-11 Calgary in the second, and 12 apiece in the third. Final shots 37-29. If you're old enough to remember 80s metal bands, you've got it in your head now what Wolf Hunt would look like. Power plays 0 for 3 for Vegas, 0 for 2 for Calgary, and you're welcome. Hits 19-18 Calgary. Hill saves 33 out of 36. Wolf 28 saves on 29 shots. The Flames win 3 out of 4 in the season series against Vegas. If they could play every team in the NHL the way they play Vegas, they'd be well above the playoff line. All right, last game of the night, we're going to talk about Washington and Seattle. Washington tonight doing sort of a modified version of what Colorado did last night, except they weren't behind by 3 and they didn't have a huge comeback, but still, on the second half of back-to-backs, I didn't expect this from the Caps. Lindgren versus Decord. They had a nice ceremony before for Eberle's 1,000 game, which he had the game before. Tonight was his 1,001st. Good early crack and forecheck. Things get pushed in a hole by Lindgren. We get a power play for Seattle. That's killed off. One shot on net. Wilson has a one-timer that's held. The shots are 6-2 for Seattle 6 minutes in. Crack and press at 7.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Burakovsky. Protas has a rebound on a rush. That's held. Crack and press with 3 minutes left. Wilson then fires one wide as the Caps get some pressure. It's 0-0 after one. Second period. Post for Yanni Gourde on a rush. Wilson then has a shot that's held as the Caps press. We get a power play for Washington. That lasts 3 seconds. Oshie goes off to the box for a hook. That all gets killed off because, of course, it does. Eberle has a net drive. That's blocked. And yeah, once we're back at 5-on-5, we're still not getting a lot of shots. Like, the shots are only 2 apiece, 8.5 minutes in. They kept talking about it was low event hockey because both of these teams play that way. When you have two teams playing against each other that both play that style of hockey, it looks a lot like that Tampa Bay Philadelphia meme that was created many, many years ago. Oh, you're not going to play. We're not going to play. We're just going to stand here too. All right, so yeah, shots are only 2 apiece, 8.5 minutes in. The Caps go back to the power play. That's killed off. The Kraken clear it out after. Miroshnichenko has a breakaway. He loses the handle on it. Can't get it on net. Ovechkin then has a shot that's caught and held. The Caps draw a power play, and Decord comes out to play the puck. And banked it off Oshie into his own net. It's not the best play for Decord, who honestly had a pretty good night. That's at 14-20 and gives the Caps a 1-0 lead. So it really is obviously amplified by the fact that there's so few goals in the game. Oshie won't get an easier goal than that. The Caps press for another. There's a near miss for Lapierre up close. And then the Kraken have a 2-on-1 that's broken up the other way. So it's 1-0 Washington after 2. Third period. Kraken press at 1.5. We get a power play for Seattle and they score on it. Bjorkstrand goes far corner from the left circle. Gord and Yamamoto with the assists at 3:32 to tie the game at 1. Kraken press for the lead. The shots are 5-1 Seattle at 5 minutes. We get a power play for the Capitals. Ovechkin has a blast that's saved. That power play is killed off, and then it's a turnover breakaway, and McMichael makes no mistake. At 11:36, he wires one to make it 2-1 for the Capitals. So oddly enough, no assists tonight for anybody on the Capitals. Shots are 10-4 Seattle with 4.5 minutes left. Goalie pull happens with 1:27 left. The Caps hang on. They win this one 2-1. They go to 31-25-9. They're 1 point out of the playoffs with the results tonight. The Kraken 28-25-12. They remain 9 points back of a playoff spot, and Calgary jumps past them tonight with the results the way they are. 3 stars are McMichael, Lindgren, and Bjorkstrand. Shots on net 9-8 Seattle in the first, 11-4 Washington in the second, 11-4 Seattle in the third. Final shots 24-23 Seattle. Power plays Washington 1 for 4, Seattle 1 for 3. Hits 28-18 Washington. Lindgren saved 23 out of 24, had a very good night. And so did Decord, I thought. 21 saves on 23 shots, but I guess you can't give him a star when he did that play and Oshie and it goes in the net and all that. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts regarding these games in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you haven't done so already. I survived another Thursday and I've got 4 more of them and then done. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for and then you guys won't get, now I have to change boards. That goes away from late April right through until October. It's gone. It's not a phrase I utter on this channel at all. There you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Do hit like and subscribe. I will talk to you again soon.